so pretty much any of you can go up to the microphone and ask a question to any of the 3 voice actors if you would like.
Where's Krista?
Should they just get up in line and go behind that microphone?
Yeah, there's a microphone behind.
Just start lining up behind that microphone there. Ask your questions. Ryden, Reno, Axel, whatever.
Sorry.
Aaron, Moran.
Okay. Huge.
The voice is located mostly in the throat. Okay. No, that was
Anyway, I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid.
I was in that.
Anyway, I'm specifically a huge Raiden fan, especially since, you know, 4, because he made such an improvement in character between 2 and 4.
Improvement, I like that word. Thank you.
You were so much better in 4 than 2.
No, not in voice, in like Raiden's character in the game, because, you know, the second one he was kind of a bit of a pansy.
Hey! Don't make me step over this dais here and knock you silly.
Regardless, huge fan, and I was wondering, to Quinton Flynn,
There's a question wrapped in an insult, wrapped in a compliment.
Anyway, I was wondering who your favorite voice from a video game was, because I know a lot of people are here for Axel too.
Well, for me it was playing Spider-Man in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance.
That is awesome. Everybody give it up for Quinton Flynn and everybody else up here. Woo!
And of course, Raiden's first appearance in Metal Gear Solid 2, the band team. Heretofore shall be known as the band team.
Put on your resume.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I'm actually surprised that this comes to the mass this well.
I know.
I'm trying to think of something that doesn't make me sound stupid because I love all of you. And I'm such a big fan of all your works.
Thanks.
So let's think of a legitimate question.
Illegitimate's fine too.
So for all of you, what's your, I'm one of the many people, I'm assuming, most in this room who's aspiring to be a voice actor. What really got you into it? And you too, on the end, I can't even pronounce your names right now because I'm so nervous. Can you say anything in Data and Naruto's voices?
Sure.
5 times.
5 times? I always think I should have a manga book or something. It's like, durr. Yeah. Sasuke, Sasuke, Sasuke. Why does it always have to be all about Sasuke? It's an old standby.
Data, I only did, I believe, once. If I'm not mistaken. I think it said art is a bang, is that correct? I'll give you 3 in a row, A, B, C. 3 different ways. Art is a bang. Art is a bang! Art is a bang!
And before I'm shoved off this panel, what is your guys' favorite thing about being voice actors and what inspired you to be so awesome?
My favorite thing about voice acting is I believe it's the most merit-based aspect of show business. Whenever I audition for a role and someone else gets it, I know it's not because they were dating somebody or were slightly taller or slightly thinner. It's because they were better than me, you know? And 9 out of 10 times, yeah, that was a much better performance than what I auditioned with. And so...
Whereas I disagree. I know it was personal. I carry resentments and judgments.
Every single time.
Every time.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it is tough. Phil's way of life is easier.
I love it because it's fun, and because oftentimes you get more control as an actor when you're doing voice acting. I think, like, you get more creativity usually,
And a wider range of characters.
wider range of characters. Yeah, you play against your type. You guys look at me and you're like, what? Why is she playing a ninja? And yeah, I've read the web, people. That's okay. But so it's a lot of fun, and and creative, and you get to do a lot more. Sometimes a lot more work than you would in other things because it's so technical in other areas.
They've covered it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it's low enough, I think. Good.
You're going to try to shoot and talk at the same time.
I'm trying to, yeah. Okay, this is a question for all of you, actually. If you could borrow anybody's voice, alive or dead, fictional, non-fictional, for one day, who would it be and why? And you get kudos if the person you're borrowing from is of the opposite gender of you.
Who makes the most money?
Yeah.
That be my answer?
That's what I was thinking.
Madonna? I don't know.
Not with her voice.
Well played, sir. I would have to go with a guy named Ernie Anderson, who is deceased. You would not know him by name, although he's the father of Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh. You know him.
You may know him by name. He did Boogie Nights. He did a lot of other motion pictures. Ernie Anderson was the voice of ABC, and he was the voice of everything on ABC, and he had rich, melodious tones. And back in the day, growing up, I remember hearing him when he would say, "The Love Boat." Up next on ABC is The Love Boat. And man, he used to bang out commercials left and right. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I love that guy. He was a creative genius, he was hilarious, and he just had one of the best voices in voiceover.
I'd have to say, well, there are a few people, there are a lot of us, have really cool, interesting voices, but then there are a handful of people who can do things with their voice that humans just shouldn't be able to do. Billy West and D. Bradley Baker.
Fred Tatasciore.
Fred, yeah. But if I had to take one person's voice for a day, it would have to be Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because, well, you know what? Yeah, because the thing is, I couldn't get the talent. Because I couldn't fit Frank's talent inside my body. It just wouldn't work. But at least even with his voice, because he can do things that you don't even know where they're coming from. Was it the 16 ducks singing Happy Birthday?
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah. But the thing is, he does things that you just shouldn't be able to do. Like, why can I hear multiple ducks doing the stuff? I mean, it's like, I can do a duck sound, which I can barely do. He can do several. Yeah, that would be my one.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
My question is actually for all three of you.
Question not.
Yesterday you guys were saying how improv was a very big part of what got you to where you are now, and it's one of the important parts that they look for when it comes to voice acting, as well as cold reading. Now, when it comes to submitting a demo reel to different people, what would you suggest that we have in there aside from showing our talent? Would you recommend showing our vocal range, how we can portray emotion? Like, what would be the strongest thing to incorporate in that reel?
Bribery money.
Whiskey.
Excellent. Well, one thing I would say is your demo should be specific, yet show range. Because sometimes when people think about showing range, like, okay, I'll do one commercial, Crest, deodorant soap, and then they'll do a character too. It's like, no, those are two completely different worlds. Animation character voices and commercial reads are two different things. You should not submit one demo that has a bunch of different things, because nobody wants to hear it. They want to hear, you have to limit yourself in a certain respect to what it is you're trying to do. What is your strength? What is the thing you are best at? That's the only thing you present to somebody. And in fact, if you have a demo and you've got like 2 good characters and then 3 so-so ones, stop. Don't submit it. Because you don't want to give somebody a reason to reject you. You want to give them a demo that they can't reject. And if that means waiting until you develop more characters, then that's what it means.
Thank you.
There you go.
Agreed.
Hey, so this is for all of you, but in your own opinion.
Dude, seriously. How's your voice so deep? That's insane. I was so not expecting that to come out. Some takes on day stuff. Sorry.
So my question is, what makes bad voice acting really bad? Like, why can you play a video game and just want to rip out your hair whenever that character speaks, or you're watching a dub and you just don't even want to continue the series anymore?
I just think a flat delivery, probably. People that don't show range. I don't watch it. I don't watch bad things. Because I don't like them, then I turn them off.
I remember, I think it was talking to somebody else about this, Resident Evil, one of the early games, was a really good game. The game was well made, and the voice acting was so bad that it made it not scary. And I think part of it was the people doing the voices couldn't communicate, the emotion that they were supposed to be feeling. And if you don't have that, okay, I'm seeing something that should make me feel scared, and then I'm listening to somebody who is feeling nothing. I think the biggest problem is people are reading something off of a page, and you know how it is when you're reading something. You speed up, you flatten out. It's like, okay, well, Kirkland Signature Premium Drinking Water. That's how most people read. And when you're doing voiceover, you're reading. And if it sounds anything like that, that's bad voiceover.
So yeah, it also depends on the director and the producer, and they're making the decisions, and sometimes they make bad decisions, and apparently in some of these games in which you're talking about, sounds like they're making bad decisions on casting and directing and producing.
Hey.
My name's Jamie, and like a lot of other people around here, it sounds like I'm also an aspiring voice actor, and I wasn't here yesterday, like somebody was, I guess. And I'm just wondering how any of you, if you have any specific tips on how you got started. I'm just trying to break into it, and how that worked out for you guys.
It all worked out. We're all working. And of course, sometimes we're not working. Part of our job is to audition on a regular basis. That's the life of a working actor. We all have theatrical backgrounds, and there's sketch backgrounds, improvisational backgrounds, right?
Yep.
And so I know for me that's where it started. It started in theater and music and improv training, and then eventually I, quite accidentally found out about this world of voiceover and saw that you could take voiceover workshop classes. So that's what I did. I ended up taking a voiceover workshop class for commercial training, and then eventually for animation training, and decided to pursue it. I had been doing impressions since I was a little kid, and found so much fun by doing that I wanted to take it further. And so taking it further, they then guided me in developing, the process. And after I got to a point where I had enough tricks in my bag, or tricks of the trade, as they say, I was able to make a demo. And then after you have a demo, then you move on to trying to find an agent. And once you find an agent, it only takes one. I think I knocked on about 18 doors before I found one who said yes. And all it takes is that one to say yes, and then you start on that path that we are on regularly, which is auditioning. Auditioning, auditioning, auditioning until you break into that first job.
Yeah, and get a skill, because it ain't gonna happen quick. You know, like, I always tell people when they're asking about that, I'm like, you know what? For some people it happens quickly, for other people it's like, you know, whether you learn how to type or research or translate or, you know, do whatever. But if you have that in your back pocket, then you can always work, you know, you can always work on that stuff. Especially now with technology, you can buy a microphone, practice, you know, take classes and practice. I mean, but definitely, you know, be a waitress or a caterer or something. Just have something to get you through until you're able to make it happen. That's important.
I have a question. When you guys started doing voiceover, did you pursue just voiceover?
No.
Did you, Quinton?
I did. I threw away everything. Theatrical and music I was working on, and I just dumped it all and went straight for voiceover.
Interesting. Okay. Because when you asked that, lately I've been having this weird reaction. It's like, what do you mean you just want to be a voice actor? Who just wants to be a voice actor? It's like, I just want to be a left-handed batter. No, you want to play ball. You know, it's like, oh, you got to catch, you got to pitch, you got to throw, you got to run. You can't just stand up and bat. But I guess you can these days. You can be a DH. You can just be a voice actor. But to me, it seems like, I don't know. I don't know how you can break it down. Because so many of the people I know in voiceover who are so good got that way by pursuing things other than voiceover or, you know, creating skills. My advice to people is always do it. If you have friends who are animators, hang out with them. They will need somebody to voice it. My friend Tommy Smeltzer always, whenever anybody comes up and asks him that, he says, I said this other day, go home, read out loud for an hour every day for 2 weeks, then come back. He says, no one ever comes back. Because it's really difficult. I mean, and I think if you do that, it will get you used to hearing your own voice, get you used to reading, get you used to hearing what you're doing when you're reading. And, you know, is it flat? Is it the same thing? Can I listen to myself do this for an hour? Dear God, no. Why would anyone else want to pay me for it?
I feel that every day. Why are people paying me for
You
this?
can read the phone book.
Yeah, but no one wants to hear it. It's like the phone book if you smoked a pack of Marlboros. Here's the phone book, kids. Allison Andrews. Number 2.
But learn to make choices like that.
Yeah.
Off the spur of the moment. I would say learn to act.
True.
And
I can do that.
good. Take acting classes, take voiceover classes, get time behind a mic any way you can.
Smoke a pack of cigarettes. Not really, I don't.
There you go.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Derek, and
Move the mic down here. Oh, it's your holding your
my name is Derek, and Quinton, Phil, you guys are such an inspiration to me, and I want to become a voice actor myself in animation, and there's actually a bit of a problem that I have to face going through that. You see, I'm visually impaired in my right eye, and nearsighted in my left, and it's a bit difficult reading things. When I go out there and I say I actually get a part, when you're out there, can you, will I get accommodations of some sort?
Yeah. I know a blind, yeah, blind voiceover. She wasn't blind when she started, but mostly visually impaired. And of course, there are definite accommodations for that.
Yeah, Dion Kwan is a visually impaired voice actor who works a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, you will have to be better than everybody else. Because in order to accommodate you, that will be extra work, and that means extra money for producers. So if they're going to use you, you have to be worth it. Okay? And it's the same thing if you're whatever classification you are. You've got to be better than everybody else. You have even more so. But I know Dion is at my agency. When she comes into audition, do you read Braille?
No, I used to, but no. I read large print now.
Okay.
With the iPad, it helps, to be honest. No, really. I mean, like, I've worked with people and they do have problems, and you know, with reading, and they expand the text as long as you can get the producer to send you something. It does take a little more work, which sucks, you know. But I also have friends that aren't great cold readers, and it's you know, it's good to be a cold reader. But my friend French Stewart, you know him from 30 Rock, from the Sun, and all that stuff. Like he has dyslexia, basically, and he's had that for years. So, you know, he just needs to work with the script a few days in advance. But you'd never know it to see him perform. But, yeah, I mean,
But he puts in the extra work.
Yeah, he does put in extra work, yeah.
You know, more so than somebody who doesn't have dyslexia who probably was like, oh, just hand me the script, that'll be fine.
Well, Tom Cruise has dyslexia.
Right. Yeah, certainly ways to work around it, but you have to be prepared to put in the extra effort.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you. I'd love to see you guys in Metal Gear and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, thank you.
This is really tall. Okay. Well, first, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how to ask it because it's kind of a...
Is it dirty?
No.
Okay, good.
Mako, the voice of Aku and
Samurai Jack.
Iro, thank you.
Iro. Oh, yes, on,
I just wanted to ask, like, did you know him at all, or?
Yes. I worked with Mako for 4 years on Samurai Jack. And the show had ended by the time he got sick, but I had heard about it, and we had crossed paths a couple of times. I didn't know it was as bad. I just knew that, you know, certainly in those last Airbender episodes, his voice was different than it had been. It was a little thinner. He had such a fantastic and amazing career and so much talent that even though his voice had changed towards the end, all the emotion and everything that he could do with it, and that's the thing, he wasn't, you know, we were talking about this earlier, he wasn't just a voice actor or just an on-camera actor. He did stage, he did, you know, he started Pacific Overtures on Broadway. He was capable of anything. He was somebody that I learned a lot from. And, yeah, I was really sorry when he passed.
He's actually someone that I really wanted to meet, but then he passed away, and they did that episode of Avatar, and I cried so much.
Oh, yeah.
But, lastly, I want to make a request. Do you think you could do the voice of Vamp and then Sig for me?
To the voice of Vamp and what?
Sig.
And it's Sig. Oh, okay.
My queen, you will not believe what I've found. I will be there in a moment.
We're popping some cherries today. You ready?
I do know who you guys are, and I admire your careers as well. I just really didn't have a question for you.
Okay.
They never do anything.
Really?
There's a whole lot of people with a whole lot of questions.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.